It's time again for Oklahoma Sports Scene. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, and we're at a brand new location for us, Bricktown Brewery. This time on Peoria, Brookside. And next week we'll be over at the one on 71st in Woodland Hills Mall. We're joined right now by a key member of this Bricktown Brewery place here. This is the guy who's the bar manager, Brandon Stage. Brandon, thanks for having us back here, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. How you doing?
We were here about 3 years ago. Enjoy being back here at Bricktown.
Yeah.
And of course, the features here, so many great craft beers. How many beers on tap as well we were talking about, Brandon?
Yeah, we have 31 beers on tap. And so It's all local brews made in this state or surrounding state.
Talk about some of the features. What do you have going on this month?
Yeah, so we have our happy hour, which has $3.50 Bricktown beers and half-price appetizers from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. And
they put some of these out for us. This is their trio. We love this with the queso, the salsa, and the guacamole, and great house-made chips as well, right?
Yep, every morning. And the queso is my favorite.
And, yeah, friend Gil Clouden was on the program with us 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He'd finished about 3 of those quesos before we get started with the show. It's amazing.
I don't blame
some
him.
Great food here as well. Talk about some of your feature appetizing menu items.
Yeah, one of my favorites is the Big Mike's meatloaf. My mom's meatloaf is pretty good, but so is Big Mike's. And I always recommend that to guests. The chicken fried chicken and our bone-in wings, actually. So those are some of my favorites.
Well, Alan Side is the general manager here, and we'll thank him for hosting us here. And Brandon Sage, thank you for joining us here on Oklahoma Sports Scene to give us inside of Bricktown Brewery. Stay with us here as I let talk about what's coming up on our Oklahoma Sports Scene show this week. We have Rick Dickson, the athletic director of the University of Tulsa, talking about the TU athletic season just concluding for 22 and 23. Then we'll be joined by Zack Reynolds from the Oilers football team, talk about their football season, 1 game left to play for the Oilers. A tribute to George Frazier, outstanding baseball player who passed away Sunday of a heart attack. His longtime friend Robert Taylor is going to join us here to talk about some great memories with George Frazier. And it's swim time at Miller Swim School is the best around. Larry Miller, the founder, been doing it for 60 years, will join us right here on set. All that's coming up on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Let's turn now to our hot topics presented by the Tulsa World. OSU's golf superstars were shining this past weekend. Ricky Fowler wins the tournament in Detroit, the Rocket Mortgage Tournament, his first tour win in 4 years. He won $1.5 million. You want big money, though? Got to go on the Live Tour. That's where Taylor Gooch, the OSU golfer who graduated in 2014, he won the tournament in Spain this week. That follows victories he had in Australia and as well in Singapore. So far in 3 tournaments on the Live Tour, Gooch has earned $13.3 million. Not bad for a guy who won this last year. FC Tulsa got a big victory, beating Detroit City FC 3-2 this past week in front of the largest home crowd, over 5,500 fans in the stands. Philip Goodwin had a big night, scored 2 goals, and also had an assist on one. The assist he had was a brilliant back heel ball that went right to the foot of the Marcus Epps. He put it in the back of the net, gave Tulsa the victory, 3-2. That now moves Tulsa up to in the standings into the playoff position. They now have 3 home games coming up after being on the road in Indianapolis. They'll be home for Miami FC on the 12th, Hartford Athletic on the 15th, and July 21st, Rio Grande Valley FC, all 8 p.m. kicks at One Oak Field. Tulsa Oilers indoor football team, winless at home, its inaugural season. Once again, they came so close. They lost to Green Bay 58-55 in the final seconds of that game. We'll have Zack Reynolds joining us to talk more about the Oilers season. Tulsa Drillers have had a tough start to the second half of the season. A lot of call-ups, injuries, and they've been struggling so far in Amarillo to start the second half season. They're now back home, taking on Wichita, and they stand from July 4th through the 9th at One Oak Field. We have some historic sports events coming up this month of July, starting off with the championships at Wimbledon. July the 3rd through the 16th is tennis' oldest and most important tournament, played outside London at the All England Tennis and Croquet Club. Then July 20th through the 23rd, it's the 151st Open. Royal Liverpool Golf Club at Hoylake in England. It's golf's 4th and final major of the season. Then July 1st through the 23rd, already underway, the Tour de France, the world's most prestigious cycling event, dates back to 1903. There are 21 stages over 23 days, 2,200 miles of bike racing. Started in Spain, will end up on the 23rd down the Champs-Élysées in Paris, France. Big 12 football media days are coming up. July 12th to the 13th. Welcome in 4 new schools at next week's football media days, being hosted at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Brigham Young, Cincinnati, Houston, and Central Florida, bringing the total of 14 teams to mark the last Big 12 media days for both Oklahoma and Texas. They, of course, head in 2024 to the Southeastern Conference. NBA had their free agency opened on June the 30th. They closed July 6th. The National Basketball Association opened, by the way, free agency on 1 hour. 1 hour just opened. Teams handed out $1 billion in contracts to free agents. A lot of money in the NBA. We're going to come back with the University of Tulsa Vice President, Athletic Director Rick Dickson. Talk about the Golden Hurricanes 22-23 athletic season. Look ahead to this fall at TU when the American Athletic Conference expands to 15 teams. That's straight ahead on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Glad you're with us at the Bricktown Brewery here on Peoria in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Come back and enjoy the show.
There are 3 things you need to know about Bricktown Brewery. We never stop obsessing over the quality of our fresh, made-from-scratch food. From pizza and burgers to salad and seafood, there's something for everyone. Our beer selection is second to none. Between handcrafted Bricktown beers and local craft favorites, you're sure to find one you'll love. We can't wait to serve you. Great food, local beer, and truly friendly service. Bricktown Brewery, we love what we do, and it shows.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
This episode is sponsored by Equity Bank. Athletes work hard day in and day out to improve their game. They put in time and effort to stay in shape and bring their A game for the big day. Our tellers do the same thing with banking. We work hard to serve our communities and keep your money safe. Equity Bank. We never forget it's your money.
Get ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers. Don't miss the excitement at the BOK Center on Saturday, July 15th at 7:05 as the Oilers take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Whether you're a diehard football fan or just looking for a thrilling night out, the Tulsa Oilers have got you covered. And with season tickets starting at just $9 per month, there's no excuse not to come out and support your team. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
This week on Oklahoma Sports Scene here at Bricktown Brewery at the Peoria location here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That is our spotlight guest, Rick Dickson, the Athletic Director, Vice President of Athletics at the University of Tulsa. We caught up with Rick on a Zoom call. He was down in New Orleans this past weekend. I tell you, Rick's done a heck of a job here. He's a Tulsan through and through. Went to Bishop Kelly High School, went to the University of Tulsa, played football at TU, graduated in 1977, came back, was the athletic director the first time in 1990 to 1994. Then he made stops at Washington State from 94 to 2000, Tulane 2000 to 2015, for come back for a second stint at TU here in 2020. They made it a permanent AD role in 2021 for him. He's done a fabulous job. I got to talk to him first about the TU athletic year 2022-23. Recap that for me. Then let's talk about the American Athletic Conference, expanding by 6 teams now to 15 teams in the conference. Here's Rick Dickson on TU's Sports Year 22-23.
Really a great year for us. It always starts off, we've been so fortunate over the last 2 decades to have Coach Steve Gully, who heads up all of our running programs, both men and women's at TU, and once again, swept the conference titles, went deep into the NCAAs, with top 10 national finish for the men and top 25 for the women, which is, seems to happen year in, year out with Steve. And so that set the tone early. Certainly, as we transitioned into the winter seasons, great start. Looked like it was going to shape up to be one of our best seasons in history for the women's basketball. And and unfortunate that happens in women's college basketball. You know, the frequency of injury, and particularly ACLs, caught us right in midstream. I think we were at the time 15-3 and 6-0 in the conference, and lost 3 of our top 6 players for the year. And so still finished a great year, and you know, second consecutive year of 19 wins or more for them, and you know, really happy and pleased there. Obviously, the Coach Conkle, you know, inherited a tough situation, tough roster that was kind of in flux this year. Made it challenging, very challenging for our first year, his first year over in the men's basketball side. But I think even this spring, people are seeing, just with the roster that he's put together for the next year, 11 new players, and everything on paper looks like it's certainly the level and quality of TU men's basketball. Now, that easy to say that on paper, but it's got to develop and take shape, and fully confident in Eric and his staff in doing that. And then we transitioned into our spring, and obviously I jumped over the football piece. You know, tough year. Had a lot of hopes going in. I think a lot of it between a really super tough schedule, but more importantly, the injuries midseason to our quarterback and some other key players probably derailed, you know, a certain bowl season and possibly a run at the conference title. But I, you know, like every challenging situation, when some young guys stepped up down the stretch there, and you know, but be remiss if you didn't say something about the young freshman quarterback, Braylon Braxton, who came in and got ample opportunity and playing time down the last 4 or 5 games. So even though it left us probably short of what we anticipated we'd be last year, certainly set up this year and beyond of a lot of hopeful things. Now, that being said, it's a young squad. Everyone knows the transition we made and coaching change. Early indications of what we're seeing there are exciting. So I think it's going to be, you know, kind of a fresh start. I think people enjoy the way they play, and looking forward to seeing, you know, how that progresses and develops. Spring sports went extremely well. Our women's softball made it to the conference finals for the first time, probably in a number of years, over 6 years, 5-6 years. Another spring outing. Men's soccer was stellar. Another top 20 finish there. Women's soccer made great improvements. Both tennises had solid years, probably not as the level that they're accustomed to, but I expect them to quickly be back at that level that they've been accustomed to. And then probably the spring sports were highlighted by the run of our women's golf, who made it to nationals really for the first time, I believe, since 2008. And Annie Young's done an exceptional job there, has her entire team back. They made it to the national tournament. So great things looking forward there. So competitively, that kind of wraps things up. Another stellar year academically. TU athletes year in, year out do a phenomenal job in the classroom. Probably, you know, beyond having nearly a 3.2 for the entire athletic program, I probably should make note of the football team, who had their best spring GPA in 16 years, just maybe a smidge under a 3-point, which is pretty remarkable turnaround for them, and great indication of kind of the new surge of accountability that's going on in that program.
Rick, let's talk about all of a sudden the big growth, the American Athletic Conference. They've gone down to 15 teams, the addition of 6 this month. Yeah, I think really it's going to be exciting, Chris. I mean, first off, we lost some, you know, good universities that have been part of the original group from 9 years ago that TU had a long history with, even back into Conference USA. But interestingly, 4 of these 6 new schools we also had that history with, and so I really don't see us missing a beat. I think the key at the start is, you know, if you're in the industry like this, you kind of
ask yourself, what's the purpose and benefits of being in a conference? And in today's athletic arena, it starts with, that it's a group of schools who pool all of their inventory to hit the marketplace together and realize really the best media rights payments that you can. Number one. Number two then becomes some of the things from the past, like regionality, history, that you're in the same footprint, things of those nature. And so from that standpoint, if you look at TV exposures and media rights fees, we didn't take a step back at all. In fact, ESPN has re-upped to our original 11-year contract with the AAC that was over $1 billion contract. So in terms of, and I think all TU fans out there know, this is, if you look back over the last 9 years, there's never been a period in our history where our programs, our athletes, our product has been so well distributed, so well exposed, throughout the country, throughout the world, because of the ESPN platform that we've been on. So everything that's provided over the last 9 years will continue. There was no reduction in the media rights fees. So those are the first two boxes that are the most important, and they check off in our favor. Beyond that, you say, so who's the new group coming? Well, 4 of the 6 are ones we had a history with in Conference USA. It's great to have another private university. We have a long history with Rice, as you know, UNC Charlotte, UAB, a lot of great competition with UAB over history. Florida Atlantic, which had joined us late in our Conference USA years, gets us into the South Florida, keeps us in the South Florida market like Central Florida was. Now we still have 2 in that market. UNC Charlotte gives a travel partner and another identity and location in the Carolina region for us, along with East Carolina. And then the 3 Texas schools in Rice and UTSA, which is has been a huge the last 5 years, up and coming, particularly in the football side of it. And a great market in San Antonio that comes on board. And then, of course, bringing back, strengthening the Metroplex area. We have SMU, but now we've added North Texas. So if you look at all the things that really are impacted, from exposure to media rights fees, to our history, tradition, to marketplace, and schools that are in our footprint of this conference, I would say, we pretty much checked every box.
When we come back with Rick Dickson, by the way, he's been in college athletics for 29 years. We'll talk about some of the changes in the sport, look ahead to the TU football season. That's coming up on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
There are 3 things you need to know about Bricktown Brewery. We never stop obsessing over the quality of our fresh, made-from-scratch food. From pizza and burgers to salad and seafood, there's something for everyone. Our beer selection is second to none. Between handcrafted Bricktown beers and local craft favorites, you're sure to find one you'll love. We can't wait to serve you. Great food, local beer, and truly friendly service. Bricktown Brewery, we love what we do, and it shows.
Get ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers. Don't miss the excitement at the BOK Center on Saturday, July 15th at 7:05 as the Oilers take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Whether you're a diehard football fan or just looking for a thrilling night out, the Tulsa Oilers have got you covered. And with season tickets starting at just $9 per month, there's no excuse not to come out and support your team. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene here at the Bricktown Brewery on Peoria. You get ready to enjoy some of these shareables. Tell you more about those later as well. But first, I want to get back to Rick Dickson, the athletic director at the University of Tulsa. One of the most amazing things about TU, they're the smallest school enrollment-wise in all Division I, 4,682 students. And yet, in their 10th year in the American Athletic Conference, they've won more titles than any other school in the AAC, 27 championships. And they played for 4 more league titles in just the last 2 seasons. So ask Rick, how do they do it? How does the smallest school in Division I just keep winning championship after championship? What's the secret?
Tulsa's a place that you can compete and you can win. And they come in with that mindset and awareness of our history and DNA. And I think that's what allows us probably to fight at a higher weight than we actually tip the scales on. But couldn't pass up this chance, Chris, without thanking. We just on Friday closed our fiscal year June 30th, and we'll probably be announcing about the time this plays that we set our all-time record for our Golden Hurricane Champions Fund, that's the fund that supports every student athlete at Tulsa, every program, 471 student athletes, 17 programs. We raised $2.5 million, a little over actually, for the first time in our history, and we increased our donors just under 2,000 and increased it by over 1,200. So for that to happen in 1 year, I can't express enough thanks to the people that support the young folks at Tulsa. But it's tied to your question, which that's part of the answer, is we've always gotten great support that allows us to compete above our bandwidth and our weight.
Rick, you hired a new head football coach. People are excited about Kevin Wilson. Also, Kevin's got a challenging schedule ahead. I just looked at the schedule you put together for him. They have
Chris, we got a timeout. I did not put that schedule together. Please set the record straight.
Well, either way, 7 bowl teams, including 2 schools that finished in the top 10 last year. That's a challenge.
No question. No question it will. And then look, even within our conference, year in and year out, whether it's been, 2 years ago, we played for the conference championship. Central Florida goes, to New Year's Day Bowl. We were right there in line to do that. And then Cincinnati follows it up with the first playoff from our league. And then, of course, the magical year that Tulane had last year, winning the Cotton Bowl. And so, this league in itself is there's probably only a couple leagues that top to bottom are more competitive. And, but I would say, our non-conference schedule, which is, Chris, these things are made, like games I'm scheduling right now are mostly in either the late 20s or early 30s. So they're made, a decade or more in advance. And, but anyway, great opportunity when we go out to Seattle. That's a wonderful venue, one of the most scenic stadiums in college football. Got a horseshoe shape like Ohio State does, but the difference is it opens up to Lake Washington, and people will see yachts and all types of sailboats and different boats out on the lake tailgating for the game with Mount Rainier in the background. And so it'll be a beautiful, beautiful setting. But our understanding is Washington will be starting the season preseason ranked top 5. So we got a great opportunity there. All I'll throw out there is my last game in Husky Stadium. We beat UW to win the Pac-10 and go to the Washington State's first Rose Bowl in 68 years. So I'm going to try to bring my good luck hat to help us there, and then come home and the opportunity to play, of course, the University of Oklahoma in our own stadium, which will be a great opportunity. So tough back-to-back weeks, but great opportunities. So, and that's the way Kevin and his staff have embraced it. So a lot of high hopes and expectations.
Well, those football expectations become realities on August 31st, a Thursday night, when TU kicks off the 2000 23 season with new head coach Kevin Wilson at Chapman Stadium against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Then, of course, a break. They're going on to the University of Washington, as you mentioned, in Seattle. Then the big game, September the 16th, as the Oklahoma Sooners come into Tulsa, take on the Golden Hurricane. Should be a heck of a football season. We have more football to talk about. The Oilers Indoor Professional Football League team getting ready to wrap up their season. It's been a very trying season for them.
Around the clock, throughout eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
This episode is sponsored by Equity Bank. Athletes work hard day in and day out to improve their game. They put in time and effort to stay in shape and bring their A game for the big day. Our tellers do the same thing with banking. We work hard to serve our communities and keep your money safe. Equity Bank. We never forget it's your money.
Hi, I'm Rob Murray, head coach of the Tulsa Oilers, and you are watching the Oklahoma Sports Scene.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Get ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers. Don't miss the excitement at the BOK Center on Saturday, July 15th at 7:05 as the Oilers take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Whether you're a diehard football fan or just looking for a thrilling night out, the Tulsa Oilers have got you covered. And with season tickets starting at just $9 per month, there's no excuse not to come out and support your team. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
We're back at the Bricktown Brewery in Brookside here in Peoria, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Got my good friend Zack Reynolds here. The Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football League team is coming down the stretch of their final schedule. We'll talk a little bit, then we'll try to eat some later too. It's there. There was triple trio here to start things off, part of their shareable menu. You got queso, you have salsa, you have incredible guacamole there. Whew. Great homemade chips here too. So
I mean, it's fantastic.
Dig at that in a second here.
Absolutely.
Let's talk some football first. So, my gosh, can we possibly think of another way to lose a game? Saturday night, of course, we're there and they're hosting Green Bay, and we were so close. We were within, what, a minute and a half, was it? Or what was it?
Yeah, just about.
Oh, God, Zach. Painful.
It's a sport where it happens a lot, but it seems to always be going the wrong way, it seems, this year. But interesting enough, with Green Bay, they brought their broadcaster with them and had a discussion with him and actually did the broadcast with him, and he had mentioned a lot of the newer teams kind of have that sort of similar situation where it's that they're not quite used to the back and forth of the indoor.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of outdoor players coming in, and so sometimes that second year kind of turns it around. Hoping that's the case for us is it's been close and we've got some real talent. It just comes into just tricky situations.
Yeah. And this is the inaugural season. The game Saturday night, typical example though, the quarterback, Andre Sale, Jonathan Nance teamed up for 3 touchdown passes. The last one coming, 1:15 left in the game, puts us up 55-50. It's over. We got it. Not in indoor football. You can turn the carry. They scored with 3 seconds left on the clock.
They did, and there was a double tip catch at the end of the game as well to set them up for that. And it's one of those things where you said, is there a different way for it to happen? And it does kind of seem like it happens a different way each time. But, I like to think of it as maybe banking some luck for next year.
Yeah.
And maybe those bounces go our way. And I was really impressed with some of the newer guys that have come in.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the players. And Sale, the quarterback's made a real difference too, looks like.
Yeah, Andre Sale's been great for us. He protects the ball well. He's only had a couple games where he's thrown a few picks, but only threw 1 pick this game as well. And he's good at getting the ball out of his hands fast. He's not the fastest runner, but he's a willing runner. He kind of honestly reminds me of Blake Bortles when he runs. It's good luck kind of taking him down. You'll get up to him, but it's going to take a while to take him down. And as a leader and kind of that field general, he takes it to another level.
Dalton James had our longest touchdown run of the season, 24 yards. Another thing, you want to emphasize running the ball more, and that really showed up Saturday too.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, kind of I guess stealing from a term we would use in hockey, Dalton James he's got snot to him. I mean, he's not afraid to lower the shoulder, doesn't mind getting rocked. I mean, he got hit earlier this season, dropped a huge hit, dropped the ball, and was somehow able to get on top of it right away. And it's great to have him in the backfield, and we got him involved in the passing game early as well. It was a big reason we were able to get up early, and so you know, he's very new to the indoor game, an Oklahoma kid from Sulphur. So just hopefully he's a guy that will also continue to progress as he gets used to the outdoor game coming inside.
Also impressive, head coach Marvin Jones and his staff. Put a good staff together. These guys work really hard. I know how frustrated they are right now too.
Yeah, of course they're obviously really frustrated because they see the talent, how close they are, and it just kind of seems to slip away at different times. And as you mentioned, it's been a different way in many of those times. And I think that a season like that, though, can be kind of good for, not good for a staff, but a learning experience for a staff in terms of, you know, what works, what doesn't, and kind of what to look forward to for later on down the road.
Team 1-13 right now. They have not won a game at the BOK Center this season. They're 0-7 at home, but I am amazed and so impressed by the fans, the other football fans.
Absolutely. I mean, our last game, because it's, you know, just July 4th weekend coming in, it was one of our lower attended, but it was because of that July 4th, and the Green Bay staff that were there were really impressed with how many people that were there, and, you know, we were saying, hey, you should have come a few weeks ago, or, you know, all the weeks leading up to here. And I think a lot of people understand that it's that inaugural season, you know, and the team's not getting blown out, and every game kind of comes down to those final 2 minutes, so that excitement's still there. Sometimes final 2 seconds, I guess I should say, sure. Right? And so I think that's really bringing a lot of people back, and just kind of a unique thing. And I know a lot of people missed, you know, indoor football from when it was arena.
The Talons,
Talons, yeah.
Henry Primo, a good friend, and good run with the Talons here at the BOK Center. With the 13 losses, though, it's still amazing. 7 of those losses by one possession. It's amazing, right?
Absolutely, and so many of those just less than a field goal, or you know, even closer. So at the beginning of the year in Frisco, who's the top team in the league this year, we kind of had a low-scoring affair, but it was a big differential at 35-13, and then Duke City, it was kind of the opposite, more of a high scoring, and then Quad City. But then from there on out, it's just been close outside of 2 road games with Sioux Falls and Massachusetts.
Look at some of these scores. The Frisco Fighters, we lost 39-37. The Massachusetts Pirates, 54-48. San Diego Strike Force, 56-55. Didn't we have a chance to field goals in the last seconds?
We did at that one, and in the Frisco Fighters game, the ball bounced off of the crossbar and out. So that one was at home.
Iowa Barnstormers lost 48-40. They were one of the best teams in the league. Sioux Falls Storm, 35-34 setback. And then, of course, this past Saturday, 58-55, losing there to Green Bay. So now Quad City comes back, a week off, come back for the 15th, final game of the season for the Oilers, and we owe them anyway. They slapped us around pretty good at the start of the season.
Certainly did. They're a good team. There's a chance that they're already clinched for the playoffs by the time they get here, because last week was the big bye week for most teams. Actually, we had the longest stretch without a bye week in the season, 13 straight weeks of football, which has got to be physically demanding. But Quad City coming in, hopefully we can kind of get that revenge and kind of pack the building out. I know the guys are really determined to get a win at home. At the end of the game, Jordan Jones had mentioned that, you know, to the fans, he was so supportive, said, you know, we've got you, you've had us, we'll get you that win in that last game, and I could hear the conviction in his voice.
So when it's all over on the 15th, then what happens? Guys disperse, and what are you doing football-wise?
Yeah, guys will disperse at the end of the season, and then it'll be back to Coach Jones, see who he's going to bring back, and you know, go finding other players. And I think it'll be a good destination. We'll have that new building built out to the Wee Street Center, out there by the old Macy's building by the Promenade. So that'll be good to have, and a recruitment tool.
So Andy Skirdo at the game last night, of course, the owner, and done so much for this city and put a lot into this thing. And he's the least bit deterred. He thinks they're going to turn things around pretty quickly. And, of course, hockey season's coming up, too, for you, too, another Oilers group.
Absolutely, and I'm really fired up for hockey season. Should be a very, very good one coming up, and I know the coaching staff said they want to wash the taste of last year out of their mouth, and they're getting ready for it.
Zach, always good to see you, buddy.
Always good to see you,
Union
Chris.
football, too, maybe this
Absolutely.
year. Okay. Zack Reynolds is Oilers football, Oilers hockey, and we're looking forward to getting going with hockey pretty soon here, too. We're going to come right back and a tribute to George Frazier with a special friend of mine who knew him very well. That's next on Oklahoma Sports Scene here at the Bricktown Brewery in Tulsa.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
There are 3 things you need to know about Bricktown Brewery. We never stop obsessing over the quality of our fresh, made-from-scratch food. From pizza and burgers to salad and seafood, there's something for everyone. Our beer selection is second to none. Between handcrafted Bricktown beers and local craft favorites, you're sure to find one you'll love. We can't wait to serve you. Great food, local beer, and truly friendly service. Bricktown Brewery, we love what we do, and it shows.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
We're back on Oklahoma Sports Scene. A good friend here joining us, Robert Taylor. And Robert, we were all shocked, the entire sports world around here, with the death of our great friend, pitcher George Frazier. Great career at the University of Oklahoma, 10-year Major League Baseball career. A really close friend of yours.
I've known George since I was 14 years old. And, you know, you've heard me call them before my cardboard heroes because I always looked at their baseball cards as a kid and everything. And, you know, it was a shocker. I mean, I think I told Big Al when I was on the radio with him, it's one of the 3 big shockers of the sports personalities I've known. You know, First one was Jim Brewer getting killed in a car wreck. Right. Then Ricky Bryan passing of a heart attack. Yeah. And now George having a heart attack and passing.
At age 68, passed away on June the 19th. We were all at One Oak Field this past Thursday for a celebration of George's life. I loved on the very back of the little program there. I don't put any foreign substances on the baseball. Everything I use is from the good old USA.
That's right.
That's George, right?
That's George. Back in COVID, I was writing to Major League umpires for autographs. They made some umpire cards, and one of the umpires I wrote to is Richie Garcia. Well, Bob Shirley told me that George used to get coffee and go in the umpire's clubhouse and, you know, suck up to him. And so he told me some things about Richie Garcia, and Richie Garcia wrote me back a real funny letter. And I asked him, I said, who's some of the best pitchers or hitters you during your career? And his reply says, after you've been behind the plate and George Frazier pitching, it's kind of hard to think of anybody else. But I'd have to say Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, and Roger Clemens are a close second. But then at the bottom of the letter, he said, ask George about our mound visit in Cleveland.
All right.
So I went to George and asked him. He just dropped his head. And he said, he came out and told me I was embarrassing Gaylord.
Gaylord Perry.
Gaylord Perry.
Loading the baseball
he
up.
said, and Bob Shirley said he kept it in his belt, on his belt buckle, you know, and said, Garcia told him, he says, George, I said, I'm going to have to throw you out the game if you don't stop this. Says, everybody in this ballpark sees you loading it up. You know? So,
yeah, quite a career. Of course, the University of Oklahoma was an outstanding pitcher there for Sooners, and heck of a major league career all in all, wouldn't you say?
Great athlete. I mean, he was basketball and track, too. Yep. He was a pole vaulter. So, yes.
I just keep thinking about some of the highlights of his career, and of course, he won a World Series ring finally with the Minnesota Twins, but probably best remembered for his World Series with the New York Yankees.
Yeah, 1981, he lost 3 games. First pitcher since the 1919 White Sox pitcher that lost 3 games on purpose.
Yeah, they threw it. That was the
But, you know,
scandal.
George could have easily won all 3 of those games. He lost on those little blue pits and everything. But, you know, George never let it bother him.
That's right. Never
He
backed off
owned
it.
it.
Yeah.
He would talk about it. He never made excuses about it or anything. I mean, he owned up to it. And he never let it get him down.
I thought it was interesting. You see his New York jersey here. Flip around, show the number on the back. There's 43, right? His jersey
43,
number.
yes, sir.
And that's kind of significant because that was something George asked for after he passed away, right?
He asked to be buried in a Yankee jersey, and the family, his sons contacted the Yankees, and they sent out a jersey for George to be buried in with number 43 on it.
Great to see his son Parker there. Of course, was quite a major league prospect himself now, and a baseball coach in the area here.
Yeah, doing great, good at Bishop Kelly, and Brian and his son Brian is with Walmart, doing big. He's big in Walmart, and Matt, he's in the medical field, and then Georgia is at the Little Lighthouse.
And of course, she was Miss Oklahoma.
Miss
right?
Oklahoma. Yeah.
What a talented family for sure. Well, again, I think that really emotional celebration they had. Don King did a great job hosting it out there at the ballpark. And what a great setting for it, though, wasn't it?
It was perfect night, and you know, wasn't hot. I mean, it was hot, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
We had a breeze and everything, but it was a good night. And Parker, and I don't know how the 4 kids did it. You know, getting up there and talking like they did.
Yeah.
But they all did good. You know, I was proud of all 4 of them, and it was a good night. George would have been pleased.
What are some of your best memories of George Frazier?
I'm going to miss the phone calls. You know, we all talked about it. When George called, or you talked to George on the phone, you really didn't talk to him. You listened, then he says, I got to go. I'm getting another call. Click, you know. So I'm going to miss. I've got my ring set. It's plays take me out to the ball game every time a ball player calls me. So every time that plays, I know it's somebody calling me, and I'm going to miss talking to George and asking questions about guys, and you know. Every time like I said, I write to ball players, if I wrote to one of his teammates or something, I would call him. He'd tell me some funny stories about him or whatever. And, you know, I got some good letters back from some of his teammates too.
Made his debut in the major leagues in 1978 for the St. Louis Cardinals, May 25th. His last appearance for the Minnesota Twins. He won a World Series championship with them back in 87, was it? Or
1987, yeah. And he retired, went out a champion.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I still think him back in his OU days, and of course, did a heck of a job of broadcasting baseball for the Sooners.
Yes, yes. You know, he spent, what, 14 years or 18 years with the Rockies or something like that, and then came home, retired from there, came home and went back doing OU Sooner baseball games.
Incredible life, incredible story, and Robert, some great things. Tell me about this card here. Show this to us.
George, he bet me one time that he only played for Cleveland for maybe 13 games or something like that. And then he went to Chicago, so it was Yankees, and then his next card was the Chicago Cubs. And he says, oh, you'll never find a baseball card of me as a Cleveland Indian. Well, lo and behold, in 1985, the 85 Donners had several error cards in it. Like on Tom Seaver's card, they put Floyd Bannister, a left-hander. So how can you mess that one up?
Wow, yeah.
But they made a 85 Donners card of Ernie Camacho, but it has George's picture on it. And I showed it to George, and he's like, well, I'm not signing that. And I said, that's fine. Yeah, just showing you lost your bet, you know. And so he said, give me the, I had 4 of them, and he signed all 4 of them. And later I got Ernie Camacho to sign them. And so George told me he'd never sign that card again. And he'd call me from different locations when he was on the road with the Rockies and say, this kid in Cincinnati asked me to sign this card today, and I told him no, you know. And so, you know, I don't know. Maybe I do have the only one signed.
Now, George, a great celebration of life, great celebration of a great life, and we're certainly going to miss him here, I know.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Thank you so much. Always good to have you here, my friend.
You bet. Thank
Come
you,
back.
Chris.
Shows more great memorabilia. He's the man that has the incredible collection of sports memorabilia. Come back and you guys think about swimming. It's summertime, time to swim. Well, you can't swim unless you know how to do it. And the guy's been doing it for over 60 years. Larry Miller, Miller Swim School, is going to be right here with us. Some tips for you parents.
Around the clock, throughout eastern Oklahoma. We are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Get ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers. Don't miss the excitement at the BOK Center on Saturday, July 15th at 7:05 as the Oilers take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Whether you're a diehard football fan or just looking for a thrilling night out, the Tulsa Oilers have got you covered. And with season tickets starting at just $9 per month, there's no excuse not to come out and support your team. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Well, it's summertime, and it's hot in Oklahoma, and that means it's time to go swimming. If you want to go swimming, here's the guy to do it. Larry Miller. Miller Swim Schools go back some, 60 years? Is that possible, Larry?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
We've been 62 years.
You and Rita started this one in a pool in the neighborhood, right?
That's right.
My
We sure
God.
did.
Right, 1960. Any idea how many people you've taught to swim through the years? It's got to be
Thousands
thousands.
and thousands
Yeah.
and thousands.
Golly.
I mean,
and it's so, we've talked about this in the past, I've had you on the show. It is truly one of the most dangerous things for young people especially. That's why it's so important to know how to swim.
well, let me tell you this. It's the number one death at 14 years of age. Up to 14, that's the more deaths and drowning. Did you see where a guy just drowned this last week?
Yeah, the former quarterback from Arkansas.
Oh, I didn't realize
he got caught up in a one of those swift currents off the Florida coast and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was drowning just recently here too. You're right.
Yeah.
God. But it's again just knowing some of the basics. Talk about how many 1, 2, 4, 5, is that right?
Yeah,
Those
5 swim schools.
The one I'm, of course, people always know. The one in Mingo is kind of the one we all think about. Beautiful one in Jenks. I was there when you had the opening a couple years ago. Was that?
A couple years ago.
Then you got 2 in Owasso and 1 in Tulsa South, right?
Correct.
Golly. Well, what have been the key things at this swim school? How many people do you have that are certified, that are teaching these, and what are the ages you welcome in?
We teach them.
Okay, yeah.
We hire from the neck up.
Okay, I got you.
And they've got a lot of kids, and we haven't changed much. We're pretty solid in how we teach our kids. Teach our teachers.
How long is the course?
It can run all year long. We have kids in there all year long.
Really, yeah.
Same kids.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then we'll have families, we'll have 4 or 5, and they'll stay the whole summer.
Yeah.
They have a schedule where we want them to swim, and then here's the problem with swimming, is that you think you can swim and you can't swim, and you think that the hand over hand, is a way to swim, and it is, but that's what people see in the Olympics.
The crawl, yeah, the freestyle.
Crawl,
yeah,
none of that. But what you need to do is learn how to flip on your back and what I call fin and kick.
Oh.
So when you get tired, you can do that. Teaching kids to breathe under their armpits takes a little bit longer, and you've got to be able to kick. And you learn to kick sometimes just a free flutter kick,
right.
But when you can do the breaststroke, where you come up and breathe, that's one way you can do it. But saving your life, you need to learn how to flip on your back.
What are the youngest ones? I've heard babies in the pool. Do you deal with babies in the pool?
Oh, yes.
Just how old? You're talking about just infants?
Well, we started 6 months.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they pretty natural then, or is it for them? Or
if you introduce them then, the key to it is keep them in the water.
Yeah.
Because if they get acclimated to the water and they get acclimated to the water in their face. We've got great grandkids they can go underwater in their face and it doesn't bother them. But what happens, we started those little kids of getting their face in the water as soon as we can, where they're acclimated, and they're not scared of water. Some, when they're kind of babied a little bit, when they're growing up, the parents will let them get in the water and that kind of thing. It makes it more difficult.
And this really is a year-round program, right, Larry?
What?
A year-round program?
Year-round program.
Wow, yeah.
And that's almost as much at that age, because it helps if you take them in early in the summertime, but when you get them out for the winter, they kind of lose it if they're young.
Yeah, right.
And if you're going to take them out like that, you need to take them every week, give them a bath with no soap, and put them in the tub, have them do certain drills like facing the water, blowing bubbles, and that way keep them acclimated.
How can people get more information on Miller Swim School and sign up your kids, or sign up adults too, certainly?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of adults.
Oh really, yeah.
Why wouldn't adults? I mean, a lot of them want to learn because they've never learned how to swim. They want to learn to go point A to point B.
Right.
And it allows them to do a lot of sports in the lake, canoeing and all that stuff.
The ones that are most dangerous are the ones that think they can swim or that they're good swimmers, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, Chris. But you know what the problem is? Is that they don't put life jackets on these kids.
Oh, I know. That's
now the ones that think that they're safe are the ones that have the pools in the backyard. And they will find, about 5 years ago, there was a little boy, 4 years old, wanted to go fishing. And he lived in Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
And they didn't take him fishing. Took his pole.
Yeah.
He slid the door open in the house, went across the street, and they found the next morning the bottom of the pool.
Boy, that's the scariest thing, isn't it? My gosh.
Oh.
Again, safety is so important when you're getting around the water, any water, whether it's a pool, a lake, the ocean, any of that, right?
That's right. But they've got to have life jackets on.
Yeah.
And then parents think about this. They want to put a lock in high on the door.
Right.
Where the kids can't get to it.
Yeah.
Because they will invariably get out and find that pool.
Well, Larry, congratulations on a great career. Best you and Rita. How many years married now? How many years you and Rita married now?
70 years.
Unbelievable.
But I want to tell you this. I was thinking about this morning. Was riding. You know, you're a sports icon.
That means I'm old, Larry. That's what it means, I know.
Yeah, you're a sports icon.
Well, I'm thrilled.
You've been around this place a long time.
1974 is when I first came here, and very excited. I'm going next month in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, which is really a great honor. Very excited about that, Larry.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it.
Well, you're so
all these coaches around here know who you are.
How do we get people to find your number or address? Well, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Just call Miller Swim School.
Okay. Go online, get all the information there. What's the phone number?
918-254-1988.
We'll put that on the screen for you, too,
918-254-1988.
Memory's so great. Do my best to read it. Great to see you, Coach.
Thanks for having me on today.
This guy's also a heck of a football coach, too, and he still does the guru stuff with quarterbacks.
I'm still going.
I love this thing. If I teach somebody to throw a football, you teach them how to swim, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Stay with me. Don't leave me, Coach. Sit down for a second. I got to say goodbye to everybody here. Larry Miller, Miller Swim Schools. Get the information. Believe me, save your life, someone else's life, too. It's really important. Be safe around the water. This guy will help you do it for you. Come right back with my Equity Bank Lincoln's 2 cents worth. Closing commentary is straight ahead.
This episode is sponsored by Equity Bank. Athletes work hard day in and day out to improve their game. They put in time and effort to stay in shape and bring their A game for the big day. Our tellers do the same thing with banking. We work hard to serve our communities and keep your money safe. Equity Bank. We never forget it's your money.
Get ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers. Don't miss the excitement at the BOK Center on Saturday, July 15th at 7:05 as the Oilers take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Whether you're a diehard football fan or just looking for a thrilling night out, the Tulsa Oilers have got you covered. And with season tickets starting at just $9 per month, there's no excuse not to come out and support your team. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
There are 3 things you need to know about Bricktown Brewery. We never stop obsessing over the quality of our fresh, made-from-scratch food. From pizza and burgers to salad and seafood, there's something for everyone. Our beer selection is second to none. Between handcrafted Bricktown beers and local craft favorites, you're sure to find one you'll love. We can't wait to serve you. Great food, local beer, and truly friendly service. Bricktown Brewery, we love what we do, and it shows.
Well, wrapping things up here at the Bricktown Brewery and our first Oklahoma Sports Scene show taped here in a couple of years, in fact. I want to look back on a great friend of ours, Alan Trimble. He was honored this past Saturday night going to the National High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Here's my Equity Bank 2 cents worth talking about the great Alan Trimble. He certainly set the standards in Oklahoma high school football. Considered the most successful high school football coach in the history of this state. He coached for 22 seasons at Jenks High School. Led the program to 13 state championships. A record, incredible record, 252 wins, 43 losses. Set multiple 6A state records, the longest win streak in Oklahoma high school football in 6A, 39 in a row. Most consecutive state titles, 1996 through 2001. Most consecutive playoff victories, 25. Trimble also was inducted in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, the Oklahoma Coaches Association Hall of Fame, and selected the Sporting News National Coach of the Year, Russell Athletic National Coach of the Year, and USA's Most Caring Coach. Jenks High School renamed its football stadium in August of 2018 as Trimble Way Stadium. The street in front of the school is named Alan Trimble Way. Alan was diagnosed with that terrible disease, ALS, the Lou Gehrig's disease, in 2016. He coached through the end of the 2018 season. Before retiring in April of 2018, he passed away December 1st, 2019 at the age of 56. Another great honor for Alan Trimble, all well-deserved and all well-earned. Next week on the show, his biographer, Don King, will be here to talk more about Alan Trimble and his incredible life, incredible career. Also on next week's show, we'll have Mike Holder, the longtime athletic director and 32 years golf coach at Oklahoma State University. We'll also feature some comments from Joe Castiglione and Rick Dickson on the NIL situation in college athletics. Join us next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene. The Bricktown Brewery will be at the one on 71st near Woodland Hills Mall, taping 5 to 6:30 on Monday night. Come on out and join us. I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks for being with us, and always remember, be a good sport.